Hello and welcome to my channel where we may be dazed, but we are not confused. We are going to do a New Horizons reading for the sign of Capricorn. So we're going to take a look at what it is that you're walking away from, where you currently stand, what your fears and hopes are, and also what's coming up on the horizon for you. So let's take a look at your cards. All right, Capricorn. So currently, it appears that you may have lost a loved one, and this could have actually been an actual loss, as in a bereavement, of which I do offer my condolences. Or this could also have been the loss of a loved one just due to parting ways, just going in different directions. I feel like it has to do with, just splitting your paths and having to really acknowledge the fact that you really just have separate journeys, and you're just starting new. With this Fool card, I feel like you're on the Fool's journey and you're starting at the beginning, and it's required you to let go of some things that maybe you had some attachment to this relationship or person that you were connected with. And I feel like it might have been kind of maybe like, I don't want to say toxic, but maybe it was traumatizing in some way to you. So what I'm strongly picking up with this persistence card and this release the dark wound to let love live card, that it could have been some form of trauma bonding. And so if you're not familiar with that, it's just basically when you go through a lot of, catastrophic, very stressful situations with an individual. And so you form an attachment, a very deeply rooted attachment that's based off of the chemicals that your brain releases when you're going through these traumatic situations. And so you form an attachment to the person that you were going through that with. And I feel like it's taken you a lot of time to really get to a place where you could let that go, where I feel like you had to face it, look at it face to face for what it was, and deal with a lot of shadow that might have been causing you to cling to the situation. And I don't think it was all bad. I don't think it was all negative. I think there was a lot of positive as well. I think there was definitely, happy memories and things that were beautiful. With this cherish the memories of loved ones card, I'm just seeing lots of different ways in which we bond to people in healthy, beautiful ways. That in essence is the basis of loving bonds that we form with people. And the reason why we form them is so we can experience that type of emotion with another person. But I feel like you're looking back on it as if it was a beautiful thing, but you're recognizing that the time for that has ended and that you can't hold on to that. And you're choosing to, allow yourself to see the shadow for what it was, see the negative for what it was, and accepting that you're moving forward. And I really feel like you're rooting into your spirituality. It could be a religion, whatever that is for you, and you're looking to God or your higher power to provide you with all of the emotional, psychological validation that you need, whatever you may have been getting. And like I said, I'm strongly picking up trauma bonding. Whatever you were picking up through that, you are now looking to your higher source to supply you with a suitable replacement for that type of energy. And I feel like you don't know where you're going, but you're planning to just kind of enjoy the journey. I feel like you have a vague idea, but you're not quite sure where this journey is going to lead you. Like, what people are you going to meet? What situations are you going to come into? And I think that's some of the beauty of this. And while it may have been difficult for you to move forward, I feel like the beauty is in not really knowing and being able to just accept the best, okay? All right, so let's take a look at what it is that you are walking away from. All right, Capricorn. So, with these cards, what I'm strongly picking up that you're walking away from this is in alignment with what we picked up with, the possible trauma bonding, is feeling as if the person that you were in a relationship with or dealing with was heaven sent. You really allowed them to kind of take the place of your higher source in your life. And so instead of listening to your own intuition, you were picking up information about this person. You were feeling like you were getting a lot of, just knowledge and discernment, but it was coming from a place that was very much induced by the trauma bonding. And so I feel like you were grateful for the person, and this is also something that's typical in trauma bonding, is that you go through a lot with that person, and then in the end of it, they can be really like just horrible to you, and then be really kind. And that one time that they're kind to you, it makes you feel as if, oh, everything is fine, because it's this huge release of this stress. And so the stress that you're experiencing is being induced by the situation, but then that same situation is being, it's being remedied. So you're getting like a dose of this, relief. So it's very similar, like I said, to almost like a drug-induced kind of dependency, where you go through the stress of not having that, and then you get that release, and you get addicted to that. And I feel like you were in a situation where you felt stuck, or you're constantly around this person, like they were always around you, you were always around them, and you never really got that space to get your mind cleared. And so I feel like you were very activated in the mental space by this person that you were dealing with. And I feel like you genuinely felt like they were your answer to all your problems, and they brought you a sense of relief and fulfillment that many people tend to get from their spirituality or their higher power. Like, you were getting it from this person. If they gave you that compliment, if they gave you that affirmation of your personal value and worth, or paid you a little bit of attention, or whatever the case. And I feel like that type of energy and that kind of looping, cyclical type thing is what you're walking away from. All right. So let's take a look at what your fears are. All right, Capricorn. So I feel like deep in the root of this is a fear of actually, receiving the justice that you deserve in the situation, because it requires you to clear this emotional and psychological energy that's been building up. I feel like you had been kind of duped into believing that your life was perfect. Like I said, you really looked at this person as if they were like your spiritual source, like they were your earth angel. They were this person that's there to save you from everything and bring you joy. And I feel like you're afraid that you're not going to be able to find that without this, because like I said, I'm feeling like this is an addictive type of, it was an addictive relationship or dynamic that was going on. And I feel like you're afraid of the dark side, the shadow side that we all have, because you were not able to really identify that in this other individual. Maybe even with kind of not being able to see some of your own, and that might be where you were connecting with this person, having some unresolved stuff, and that kind of triggered you into coming into this dynamic to try to psychically work this out, that you're afraid that you're not going to see that moving forward. And it may have also made you more sensitized to this type of negativity in others, and you might even have some levels of paranoia about being mistreated, or that people are kind of out to get you. And I feel like this is something that maybe over time can subside as you're going on this new journey to just start fresh. And I believe that your journey will bring in people who are going to be positive roles, play positive roles in your life, and show you what healthy, balanced give and take is in a dynamic. And it doesn't have to necessarily even be romantic. But I feel like if you had so much of your energy and time and mental space dedicated to this person, like I really feel like you almost made an idol out of this person. So you were like almost like worshiping them and like feeding them as like a god in your life. And there it's a human just like you, you know? And you can all say like we're all gods and goddesses. But I feel like the role that this person had, it usurped your own godhood, your own throne. Like you took this person and put them on the throne of your heart and allowed them to rule and reign over you. And it's really, with this person now being removed, I think it's important, just throwing in my own 2 cents, to be sure that you put yourself on that throne. And I think that you'll probably meet some people, and it might be 50-50. You'll meet some people who will help you to put yourself on that throne, and you'll meet some people that might take advantage of the fact that you had that throne empty after having such an abusive person who usurped it and was sitting there for so long. So let's take a look at what your hopes are. All right, Capricorn. So I'm picking up that your hopes as you move forward is that as you're going on this journey, it's like you're almost being given like a Pandora's box. And you know that when you open it, like everything comes out of there. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, all of that. And, I feel like there may be some anxiety with that. But I feel like you're hoping that you can block out anything that becomes a distraction to you, anything that takes you off of your throne. And that, as you're going forward and there's risk that's inherently involved in that what you get from it is abundance, and that you meet people with the King of Cups energy. This could be male or female, but just people that are in touch with their emotions, people that are genuinely caring and not going to show up in the way in which some of your other partnership dynamics have. All right. I'm just picking up an energy of you just hoping that you, like your inner child, can be protected. You might be calling on your guides, with you connecting to God as your source. I'm picking up like Archangel Gabriel, to help give you hope moving forward, that you can be protected, that core, that inner core of yourself can be protected as, you're still healing. I feel like you're still trying to heal from this and, recalibrate, but that you'll get a little extra protection as you are on your journey. All right. And I will align with you in that desire, in hoping that you do receive that. All right, so let's see what it is that you have on the horizon. All right, this is beautiful, Capricorn. Wonderful way to wrap this up. On the horizon, I see you stepping into your power and finding shelter from the storm that you were in within yourself. I see that you're going to really focus on putting your needs first, making sure that you're taken care of in all situations, monetarily, emotionally, psychologically. I feel as if you've learned a lot from the judgment calls that you may have made in the past. I think you're clearing out the fog and kind of waking up to the reality of what you were in. And while you're able to see the beautiful, you're also able to see how it was toxic and how much it really hindered you. And so you're releasing allegiances, not just with this individual, but with anything else or people who are connected to that may have contributed to you being able to go with the flow of that for so long. Because when we're in situations like that, it's very easy to create this community around us that kind of feeds that and allows that to go on. So I feel like you're just removing yourself from that hive, almost like a hive mind of expectation or perception that would have you in that position. You're letting it go. Like I'm picturing you like you're rising above the tribulations, like you're leaving it behind. You're not going to let it get you down. Now that you're actually getting out of this and you've woken up, I would not be surprised if you didn't have this individual trying to, not to be creepy, and I don't want to freak you out, but, trying to find where you are, or trying to keep tabs or see if they can, catch up with you. It's almost like Cinderella with this card. It's like Cinderella leaving the ball and going back to her house, and the only thing you left behind was a glass slipper. Well, if this person goes out, because I kind of feel like this person is going to go out and find that there aren't very many people who are going to allow them to walk all over them the way that you did, not because of any fault of your own, but because you were, sincerely being trauma bonded and emotionally and psychologically abused in the situation. They're not going to find somebody that's pre-formatted for that. It's going to take time. It takes time to create that kind of bond. And so they're probably going to come after you with this slipper that you left behind. But the difference in this story is that when they come to your house to try to put this slipper on to see if it still fits, it's not going to fit because your foot has grown like 3 inches and you're wearing combat boots now because you're out here stomping around and taking names and doing what you need to do. And you have a kingdom to run, which is the kingdom of your life path. You've been out on the road, you've been journeying, you've got boots on, you've got places to go, things to do, and you can't do that in glass slippers. You can sometimes, but for you, where you're going and what you've been doing, and with the lead role that you've been taking in your life, you've got combat boots on. So that glass slipper fit you. It was the last season. It doesn't fit you anymore. It's not for you. And it may be that there's nobody else in the kingdom that will ever fit that slipper. And because we're all unique, we're all different people. But the good news about that is that means that it will be very difficult for you to slip back into where it is that you were, because that can happen sometimes. I just don't see you doing that. And I think that that's a wonderful thing, with you kind of taking what you've learned from the situation and basically from what you've had to experience in real life. That's very different than, reading about it or having somebody tell you. When you live it, it's a whole different thing. And I think that gives you some power and some juice to really understand the value of who you are as a person and why it's so important that you're sitting on that throne. In fact, this is you. I feel like this King of Cups is you on your throne, male or female, being in touch with your emotions, knowing what it is that you need, and you being on that throne, no one else. Okay. That's your spot. All right. So thank you, Capricorn. This has been your New Horizons reading. Thank you for joining me on this channel where we may be dazed, but we are not confused. Until the next video. Bye-bye.